Hi everybody. Hope everybody's well. Totally okay. Right, so similar sort of format as what we're going to do on a Sunday. We can have a bit of a chat about anything you want. Doesn't have to be darts. We can take a bit of a chuck and a bit of a chat. So it should be good fun. Just think. Hi Rachel Squirts. You alright, lad? Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about over them points. You put a little bit of a comment on the last video over the points. Know exactly what you mean. Think your target are letting a lot of people down with some shoddy products, aren't they, at the moment? Which is a bit of a shame, really. Hi Dave. No sound. Same with everybody. Have I got no sound there at all for everybody? I'm going to say it's going on this side. I can see it running up and down there. Right. Mic's not working. Right, sometimes. Right, well it's pushing pluses on here. Seems to be okay on here. Right. That should be back on. Getting interference with the sound, but I can hear you. All right, okay. Okay. Is that better? Is that a bit better? Right, I'm thinking I've turned it down a little bit. That might be a little bit better now. Hello, Neil Magowski. Keep your head up, mate, in that competition. Like I said to you before, mate, don't let things get you down. Right, yeah, so it was over-modulating then. Right, so we're sorted now, hopefully. Sounds okay, a bit crackly at times. Yeah, it's the I put it down my shirt, and I think I've done something to the so I shall be treating myself to something a little bit better in the next week or so with a bit of luck. Hiya Kieran, you alright, lad? Sounds fine to me, a bit of crackling, but that's it, right? Well, like I say, hopefully that'll sort itself out over the next couple of weeks. I'll get myself, now I've got used to this and I've got used to using it, I'm going to get myself a decent one then. Right, great stuff, that'll do for me. Right, so any questions, lads and lasses? Any questions? A bit too low now for the sound. Right, crank your volume up on your TV. Right, hang on. Let's see if I can put it a little bit higher. You just like me seeing me messing with this, don't you? Wherever it is, gone that way. Magic though, these, you know. Thingy. Amazon, 27 quid. Right, is that better now, or is that too much? Is it crackling and like mad now? I've cranked it up a bit higher now, and it's just about pushing into the reds at the top of my voice. Yeah, Kieran, I did like the Damonetta review. I thought those darts of his look sweet, but like you say, they think they're drilled out a bit, aren't they? So they're a bit nose heavy. They tend to, right, that'll do for me. They tend to dive off at the end of the thing, at the end of the flight, don't they? Right, great stuff. Yeah, so thingy, yeah, those Damonetta darts, they look really nice, look like a nice set of darts, but it looks like they're a bit nose heavy by the way that they were drilled out when you were shoving the little stick into them. What do we call it? Matt from Atomic Darts did one on the Danny Baggish. I saw his review this morning. That was quite good and all. Quite enjoyed that. Great stuff. That's what we need, some decent sound. Right, I've got something pretty good to tell you. I've got a new video coming out tomorrow. Oh, yeah, nice one. Brilliant, that. Thanks very much. No, thank you. Never. Hey, matches my shirt. I like the thing of the super chat. It matches my shirt there, mate. Yep, I understand. Like I say, you're not supposed to put that, though. We don't want people thinking we're doing anything like that. Shh. Right, let me just go and shut the studio door. That's right, and wreck everything while we're at it. Knock everything over. Right, can we still see that board all right? Yeah, we can. Right, yep, thanks very much for that, Dave. We'll set the, what do we call it, up in a minute for the old 180s. Hi, Mark Kennedy. You all right, lad? Dean Brown? Yeah, that's the one. The away. The free donators giveaway. It's a free giveaway at the end of every month, and it'll be drawn on the 25th at 12 o'clock, and I'll put a video out as usual. But what I'm going to start doing is, not this month, I'm not sure about next month, because hopefully we'll be starting to come out of lockdown, hopefully in the next month or two. But as soon as we start to come out of lockdown, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it as a live broadcast on a thing. It'll probably be the last Sunday of the month, so it'll be part of the live show on a Sunday evening. Still going to be doing that live show tomorrow on thingy on Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. Sorry, so at 6 o'clock tomorrow we'll be back on again. So thanks for everybody, and like I say, I'm going to do like I normally do. It's going to be like a live draw for the, what do we call it, for the free prize giveaway, for the free donators giveaway. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it the same as I've always done it this month, and then from next month onwards, more than likely, I'll let you know if it isn't, but more than likely will be. What I'll do is I'll do it the same that month, and then the month after it'll go to the last live show. Because what I'm hoping to do is, as the donations come in and what have you, the lads out there, the other YouTube lads will understand this. You've got to subscribe to this. Like, I'm on Streamlabs. Some of them are on StreamYard and what have you. You've got to pay for that every month. And obviously I've got to make that money to pay for that, so I can then hopefully have guests on. And that's what the next thing is. What I'd like to do is do a little bit of a chat with some different ones, like Neil's Darts, Love Darts, Darts Referee, get a few people in, but also just you lads. I'd love to have a word with Dean Brown, Mark Kennedy. You know what I mean? What I'll do is we'll sort all that out, and we can sort of like bring you in. It's dead simple. Because I've been a couple of times on Atomic Darts now, which was really good. I've really enjoyed that when I've been on there, and I'd like to have a go at something like that. And it's dead easy. All you do is you send somebody a link, and all they've got to have is a computer and a webcam, basically, or even a laptop with a webcam built in. It don't really matter, as long as you can like click on the link, you check your mic and your video, and then all you do is just talk to me like I'm one of your best mates. Simple as that. Tomorrow is Saturday. All right then. It isn't all, isn't it? I tell you what, these days, you know. Right, so Sunday, if it's Saturday tomorrow, hey, what am I like? I wouldn't mind, but the stream's even called Friday Night Live. Dink. God, I'm a sausage me at times, aren't I? But yeah, on Sunday, we're on live as usual at 6 o'clock. We'll have a real good do on Sunday. I'm hoping to get it sorted out so I can play a few of yous on, I don't know, Knacker or something like that, or that Lie Darts, something like that. I'll get that sorted out over the next tomorrow, hopefully, and then might be able to get one or two of you on that. The other thing that I was thinking about doing as well when I start doing these interviews is doing a live phone in, so people can actually phone in. I'll get a phone number so people can phone in. We can have a bit of a chat and get on the, what do we call it, and maybe I can answer one or two questions for you. Right, so let's have a bit of a chuck. And as I've said to you all loads and loads of times, when you first throw in, it's got nothing to do with actually putting the darts in the 60 or anything like that. It's literally just a matter of a bit of grouping. Oh, and that's what I was talking to you about before, wasn't it? That video that I've got coming out, it'll either be tomorrow, which it more than likely will be tomorrow, or Sunday. But should I give you a bit of a sneak preview of what it is? You remember a couple of weeks ago, Love Darts did what do we call it, a review sort of thing, a bit of a fun video about these great big heavy darts. Well, look at these monsters. These are 50 grammers, 48 grams in the setup on them, and had a bit of a chuck with them. And let's just say something magical happened on the third visit. How magical that is, you'll have to wait and find out. Dave, have you tried the Arrows Apex points? I haven't, Kieran, mate, no, because to be honest with you, you know as well as I do, and all the YouTubers will know this, I could spend hundreds of pounds a week buying like loads and loads of different stuff. But if you've got any of them Apex points that you've used and you don't want them anymore, I'll say this to anybody: if you've got any stuff you want me to review, just bang me an email, and I'll call it. Kieran's already got my address anyway, because we've spoken what have you. I'm pretty sure he's got my address anyway. But if any of you lads out there want to send me anything, send me an email. You know the usual script: dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com. It's dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com, and you can find it on all my videos, so it's dead easy to find. If you want to send me an old set of darts or something that someone's given you, say a set of darts that are new, but you've tried them once or twice and you don't like them and you don't know what to do with them and they're just sat round, if you send them to me, I promise that I will make really good use of them. Because what I intend to do moving forward, because obviously the isn't working the same as it used to be, and I'm not getting the sort of revenue that I used to get off it. What I'm going to do now is, rather than using the revenue off that to buy darts and then give them away to people that are less fortunate than ourselves, if you've got any old darts or anything like that, well, not old darts, obviously, they'd have to be new ones, because I'll be giving them to disabled dart players, youth dart players, that sort of stuff. So, and I'm hoping to do a really, really big show this Christmas coming, where I'm hoping that a couple of other YouTubers, or maybe all the YouTubers, will join in with me, get as many sets of darts together, and then let's go and give them to some, like, it's not really nice to call it underprivileged kids anymore, but I mean, I'm from the 60s and 70s, and that's what I was when I was a kid, very, very underprivileged child. And it's really nice to give something back, to be able to give something back. So yeah, absolutely. So if you've got anything there, any points or anything like that you want me to review, or any darts you want me to review, any equipment that you want me to review, if you want to send it to me, that's absolutely fine, and I absolutely promise you that I'll make really, really good use of it afterwards. There's no way I'm going to let it sit in a corner and just build up a stack of darts like a lot of people have done. That's why you never see in my background loads and loads of sets of darts. I might have, I forgot now, and these are all for the free prize giveaway at the end of the month. I've probably got 2, 4, 6 sets of darts, some dart scorers and some dart boards. But other than that, everything that I get, I always try my best to pass them on to people who are less fortunate than ourselves. Right, so let's carry on and have another bit of a chuck. Nice one, Kieran. That's really appreciated, that, mate. Absolutely. Thank you very much. See if we can fire up. Where is it? Let's fire up the Raspberry machine. For anybody who throws a super chat in, I'm firing up the Raspberry machine. Steve Lamore. See, Danny Bag is struggling at Q School. Yes, mate. I was surprised myself, but to be honest with you, it's like anything, mate. It's how you perform on the day or on the week. All of us can have like bad spells, which today I'm having a bit of a bad spell because, and you're gonna laugh your nuts off. Sorry, you're gonna laugh yourself to death at this. The lot of you. My missus, right, is she's doing some exercises and stuff like that with the physio, and one of her massive goals, and bearing in mind we're both nearly 60, one of her massive goals to be able to do was a what she calls a roly-poly, or a forward roll. Hey, we've got one in there. 180! Thanks very much, Peter. Nice one, mate. Cheers. And her ambition was to be able to do a forward roly-poly, and she's managed to do that. And then, like a spoon, she taught me into doing it. Jockey to the hockey. Yeah. She taught me into doing it last night, and let's just say I'm not very good. Hiya, Neil. You all right, lad? Evening to you, mate. I'm not very good at doing things half-cocked. So Dave, you know, thinking that he's still 7 or 8, decides to do a proper forward roll. And down goes, I'm about 16 stone now, down goes big fat Dave, over his head, over onto his shoulder, onto his back, and it felt like somebody had punched me in the back with a finger, with a sledgehammer. So today, my throwing's not very good, my voice is not very good, and I just feel like I've been winded. Do you remember in school when you always used to get that sod who used to come up behind you and punch you in the middle at back and it knocked wind out to you? It did that to me, but proper. And obviously with my old bones, it doesn't heal so very quick, does it? Hiya, Joe, mate. You all right? Backward roll is the biz. I don't think I'd be able to do that. You've not seen the size of my belly, mate. It was hard enough getting over the front of it. Norris 7 goals. I'm suffering with dartitis. Yep, it can be a nightmare. And I've got to be honest with you, there's a couple of lads out there that specialise in it that are probably better at it than me. But dartitis is different things to different people. It's the same disease and it affects people in the same way, but there is different. Scottish lad does darts. Thank you very much, Kieran. Cheers, mate. Nice one. 180. But yeah, dartitis, mate. It gets people in different ways. It's something very similar in most cases. Normally, it's a difficulty in releasing the darts, but I have seen people that I would say is dartitis when they've got a really bad snatch where it's literally gone to the point where they can't hardly even hit the board. I have had players, and not one or two, quite a few of them now, probably best part of 20 now, and I've actually converted them from throwing from right-handed to left-handed, or vice versa. But that is in like really, really bad cases. And there's one, I mean, I don't know whether he'll come on tonight or not, and I don't want to give his name out because obviously it's personal to him. But if he wants to tell you, that's perfectly fine. But he's converted from right-handed to left-handed, and he's now, I've got him running at about in between 80 and 85 average, which I think is a phenomenal thing to be able to do. And believe it or not, that is all in 12 months. He's been doing this about 12 months now. We've been doing online. We started off doing a little bit of face-to-face before they actually locked us down the last time, because we were allowed one person in your house to do this, that, and the other, and what have you. So at that time, I was doing it. And then all of a sudden, everything had to stop. But like I say, he's throwing left-handed now. We've done loads of sessions online, and he's running it in between like 80, 85 average, which I think is fantastic for somebody throwing with their opposite hand. And he's really smooth as well. Yet if he goes to his right hand and tries to throw a dart, he can't let go of it. Right, Morris Darby, you call it a disease? Yeah, I do. Yeah. It's actually, I think it's actually recognised as a disease now, because what it is, it's a neurological interference. It's an interference in your mind. It's not physical. It's mental. But it is. I believe that studies have been done on the brain, and they can actually see the path where people are actually. You know how they put these things on their heads and what have you. They've done some in-depth research into it, and where it's a neurological path problem. So basically, it's like when I tell people, when you come back and their arm stops at the back and then they throw it forward, even when they're throwing all right, I tell them that you've got to be so careful, because this is where not 90%, but a big proportion of people who have problems when they're throwing darts, it's where it comes from. If you stop at the back of that throw and then push it forward, what happens is, as your arm gets to the back, you start thinking. And when you start thinking that you're not going to be able to put the dart where you want it to go, that's when it starts stopping. It's all right when you're thinking, when you're young or when you're fresh to it and you've got loads of confidence and you've got huge cojones. It's fantastic, that. But once you start to get one little drop of doubt in your mind, it just starts to fester and it just starts to grow and grow and grow, and it puts a psychological block in the way. So the only way around that is either changing the path, in other words, changing the way that you think about throwing the darts, etc., or changing to a different hand, because obviously your left hand uses a different neurological path for everything that it does, whether it be boxing, writing, or whatever it is. It uses a different neurological path than your right hand does. Right, let's have a look on here. How are you, Dave? Darts guy. Hiya, Darts guy 7. You all right, lad? Yeah, I'm not too bad. Still suffering a lot with this malarkey with thingy, APAL. That was I mean, I don't know who's done this, but it's been done maliciously, because there's hundreds and hundreds of people out there that have not been affected, that are doing and was doing the same as I was. So I think I've upset somebody, and I think I know who it is, but at the end of the day, you can't prove who it is, because you can't, and it's just one of them. But the thing is you see, I would imagine that these people thought that it had crushed me and what have you, but it hasn't. I'll just find another way, and I never back down, I never retreat, and I never surrender. So we've just moved on, and we've got Skrill there. The Skrill is fantastic for people outside the UK. Absolutely awesome for outside the UK. If anybody wants to donate to me direct, you can do it either via Skrill if you're outside the UK. If you're inside the UK, you can go to Streamlabs, which if you look at the top of the page that you're looking at now, there's a little address at the top of there. If you copy and paste that into your thingy, into your browser, it'll take you straight to my donation page at Streamlabs. Or if you get in touch with me at dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com, I'll send you a bank account number, and you can just put it straight into there. And don't forget, everybody who donates in whatever way let's put in to the end of month free prize, the donators free giveaway, so we call it the donators free giveaway. So that's everybody goes in that's contributed, no matter which way. I've got people now that they send me letters and what have you, so I have a letter of the month, and to be honest with you, they're getting that regular now. I have a letter of the week, and what I'll do is, as I always do, I just try and be the best type of person that I can, and I'll throw a couple of tickets in for somebody who's done that, even though all they've done is wrote me a letter, and I just think that's fair, and I just think that it's nice. Right, Norris, are you literally explaining me 100%? Oh, you are literally explaining. Yeah, well, that's it. It's people don't realise that, and it's just one of them things. I developed the Dynamite Dave way, but I've done this in the way that I tell everybody about coaching, and not about coaching, about learning how to play darts and whether you can change to improve the way that you throw darts and what have you. I do this like I mean it, and I'm really, really interested in the different aspects of throwing darts. It's like when I was on Atomic Darts last week, I was saying to him, I've got I've got a wheelchair in my shed, because I'm trying now at the moment, in between doing all this, which was one of the old thing went and just bowled me over. I was in the middle of taking that up again. I did it about 12 months ago. I know I'm going off the subject here for you a bit, mate, from dartitis, but this is what I do, and it's what I'm famous for. I like going off at tangents, and I just like chatting to you. So anyway, I've got a wheelchair in the in the shed, and I'm trying to develop a Dynamite Dave way of throwing for wheelchair darts players, so I can then hopefully pass that on and fetch the wheelchair darts standard. And not only wheelchair, but the disabled, obviously the ones that it's going to be further down the road where I go into the ones with missing limbs and stuff like that. But I will go into it, and I've also, because of dartitis and a couple of other things, I've gone into like some of the autistic lads that play darts. I've got a few, not a massive amount. I've got an handful of lads that are autistic that play darts. I've got a couple of bipolar lads that play darts. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's like 1% women, which is, do you know something? It's still an absolute travesty. We've actually got the women coming up in the game, but the actual general population of the women are not taking it on like I believe they should, because there's absolutely no reason whatsoever that a woman can't throw darts as good as a man. None at all. There is no physical difference, and there's very, very little mental difference as well between the two sexes in that sort of, obviously there's massive differences in other areas, but not in the fact of playing darts, because there's no physical strength required. It's more finesse than anything. And like I say, they've got the same skeleton as us, slightly different in a couple of tiny little different ways, but basically their actual skeletal mechanics work the same as a bloke's. So there's no reason why women cannot throw darts as good as men. It's just the fact that they've actually been kept down. Whether I don't think it was on purpose. I think it's just because of the way darts developed. Obviously, darts are from a pub background, and when I was a kid in the 60s and 70s, women weren't in pubs. So a lot of pubs wouldn't allow a woman in. They were allowed in the room, like at the like at the sports and social clubs that we used to go to down in Levenshulme there. We had Hyde Road Sports and Social and a couple of others there. The cricket club, the actual ladies were not allowed in the games room, so there was no ladies that played darts in them days, or very very few anyway. Right, let's finish waffling now. Right, so yeah, evening Dave and everyone. Hope you're all well. Hiya. Tell you what, I'm really come on, go back up, go back up, go back up. Ashley Calver. Hiya Ashley, you alright mate? I just wanted to make sure that was actually who I thought it was. Joe, can't beat a bit of bully. You're dead right, mate. Where is he? He's over there. Oh, you can see it, can you? Can you see it on camera? Where the board is? You can't beat a bit of bully. Yes, I am still on Patreon. Yes, I've not got a massive Patreon following, but it's growing. It grows slowly, like everything with the channel. I don't mention it every 5 minutes on here. If you watch some of me standard videos where I'm actually doing stuff, you'll see a little Patreon thing in the corner of the screen. But yes, I have got a thing of Patreon following. The Patreon stuff, what I used to do was I used to do the odd videos for them and what have you, as like only something that they could see. But I want to try and convert that so I can link the PayPal to YouTube, because there's a member scheme or something on YouTube. And what I want to do is I want to try and get as many people together in one scheme that do like a monthly contribution. And if that's up that, and if they want to sign up to that, I'm going to do like group coaching sessions. So if there's a group of, like, say, it might be 10 or 15 or 20 people, and I can get them on Zoom and what have you, so we might do like an exclusive, but obviously these are the things for slightly in the future, not right now. It's going to be a couple of months before I hopefully get it all sorted and what have you. And as you know, lads and lasses, my ultimate goal is to leave work and be able to do this full time, because I believe that I've got the opportunity of helping a lot of people. And that's all I want to do, is I just want to help other people. But obviously I've got to make enough of a living out of it to be able to keep a roof over my head. Right, what have we got here? Men are better at special prescription. What's that mean? Joe. Hi Joe. What I'm thinking, I might have missed something that you said before. Well, I try my best. KEB. KEB. I think I try my best. It's just one of them things. It's something that I've always done since I was young. As I mentioned in the other live streams and what have you, I used to be a motor vehicle engineer, and nothing, no matter how much money came through the door, because it was my own business, the bit that I loved the most was teaching people how to do a bit at night time. So I used to teach lads and women, blokes and women, quite a few women to be honest with you, who got pretty interested in it, and we'd do all sorts of stuff. We'd have an engine stripped down, and I'd show them obviously pistons, bores, rings, how you could change the bore and stroke by changing the crankshaft to imply more compression, etc. How you could take a cylinder head gasket and either put a fatter one on. This is in the old days, it's not now, but in the old days, what we used to do with the old 1100 Fiestas and the 950 Fiestas is we put a fat head gasket on it and a thing in a Garrett turbo. And it, let's just say, for a 950cc engine, it used to move. Probably not compared to the cars now. It's probably a bit of a joke, but like I say, that one of my misses is unbelievable. She's got a Fiesta EcoBoost, 140 brake horsepower out of a 1 litre engine with 3 cylinders, and it pulls like a steam train. It really does. It's just unbelievable. Really are. Men are better at prescription. Go on, put a bit of a comment down. I mean, I know you can't get too many letters on there, but give us an idea of what you're actually saying there, so I can come back to you with it. It's science, man. Right. Well, a science man, plenty of science men, or the sort of science that, because I think I've got to admit, mate, I'm not getting that. I'm not getting it. Ryan DC, hi Dave. Would you say thicker flights make your darts fly lower? So, thicker darts make your darts fly lower than thinner flights. I'm trying to decide what's best for my setup. No, not really. I think the only thing that would affect it, really, for mine, is its weight. Because obviously, an 100 micron flight weighs more than a 50 micron flight. So if you've got a 50 micron flight in standard and a 100 micron flight in a pear shape, they probably weigh somewhere around about the same. So I think it's a case of balance weight. I don't think it's a case of whether the dart flights are thicker or not, because the ones that I've got on, as you can see, these babies, you can see what they are. They're L style, and they are quite thick and heavy flights. The ones that I use all the time, apart from obviously Johnny Cree's give me these Lone Wolf 180, so I've used them and think I've got to say I do actually like them, to be honest with you. I do actually like them. The only thing I don't like is the fact that they don't spin. And L-style do they're called silent spinners. Silent my left doodah. The thing is that I've got some somewhere, and when you pull them, you can feel the flights rocking backwards and forwards. These are the best flights I've ever used in my life, flights and stems. Click systems, I've been using them for over 4 years. And as you can see, these, the different flights and stems and what have you, and the only time I ever change them really is for colour. The flights themselves last me a minimum of 3 months, and you've seen the way I group darts and what have you. Those are they've probably had about a month's use, and as you can see, they're hardly damaged at all. And that's for the simple reason is the darts move, the flights move out of the way. They actually spin, but they don't spin, if you know what I mean. They still feel solid. So when you've got the darts in your hand and you're transferring them, so from your serving hand to your throwing hand, you're not getting that rattling about and that horrible feeling. They just feel like absolutely bog standard, really good, really good. That's all I can say about them. Let's have a bit of a chuck with them. You might be able to see as they go into the board that the actual flight just moves out of the way of the barrel, so it doesn't cause it any damage. Same as the next flight comes in, as it touches it, moves out of the way. The only problem I've ever had with, I've not had with them, but other people have had, is them tearing. But that's usually if your darts are going in all wiggledy wobbledy and they're actually coming in contact with the other flight. If they're going in nice and level and straight like mine do, that is absolutely no reason whatsoever in the world not to use these. I find them fantastic. But again, it's another thing that's very personal. Some people like spinning flights, some people don't. Some people like L-style, some people like standard ones. For years and years and years, I used the standard flights. That's all I ever used. But what I used to do was, because I used to destroy them, so thingy. How are you? I'm great, Mike. Hiya, Mike Swindoles. Hiya, mate. It's my mate there from over in Wythenshawe. Another good dart player. Mark Callum. Just have a quick look through these. Hi, Dave. Getting nice one, mate. I know you were stuck in with the weather, weren't you? That's Callum Reston. He was stuck in with the weather, and he's getting some flights and stems over to me. The thing of the Condor ones, these are I think they're the solid ones that are like a flight and a stem combination. And I'm going to give them a good review and have a look at them and see what I think of them. I do think it could be about balance of the darts, because the thick ones do work better with my other sets. Well, it's one of them things, as I said to you before, it's a personal thing. I can throw, if you watch my channel, when I throw, because I use the mechanical throw, it doesn't matter what darts I use, what weight they are, what flights they've got in them. They all pretty much do the same thing, because if you set them off in the right direction, the flight, no matter how big or small it is, has very little impact on how the dart's actually flying. Oh, it's Anthony Perglisi. I still can't say it properly. Hiya, mate, you alright? All the way over there in New Mexico. Told you I've got them from all over the world here, lads and lasses, all over the world. Oh, Meteor's in. Meteor darts. 2 months ago. Got to say, can't see me ever going back. Yeah. You know something? People who've used them and give them a proper go. I mean, I've had one or two who said, oh, I've sliced the flights on the first day. Well, you can do that with anything. You've had a bit of an accident with them, but like I say, I've been using these for 4 years. Stems, I think I've had one break. I've had one break in 4 years of stem, which broke off at the slim bit there, so it wasn't a problem. Just screwed it out, put another one in. Other than that, I never have to change the shafts. I've got shafts here, these 3 shafts here, about 3 years old. Probably might even be older than that. All I do is just buy new flights and pop them on. So I've never really bought, like, no, I've bought other shafts and what have you because of different lengths and different colours, but I've never had to replace them because they're damaged in any way. And the great thing with these is they do every now and again go so they are dead spinny. They don't go loose, but they go like loose so they spin too much. Pop the dart off, bite it. Just give it a bite with your molars, a bit of a chew, slot your flight back on, back to normal. There's a good tip for you if you're using these. Yep, Dave, that's it. That's exactly what these are like. You don't feel it. There's no feeling in them at all. They just feel like normal standard flights when you chuck them. I suppose somebody who's a bit fussy could say they're a little bit heavier, a bit thicker, but as you can see with my darts there, they go into the board nice and in a nice angle and what have you. There's nothing strange or weird about the way that they fly through the air. They just fly through nice and straight, and that's what happens. That's what you get when you use the mechanical throw. So we'll go from them. Which are BVD. Those are the veracities in gold. What I'll do is I'll have a couple of handfuls with these. So we've gone there from 22 grams, I believe they are, to 50. So I'll have a couple of handfuls with these. We'll see how these are, but I'll tell you what, these really do go into the board hard, these. Regardless of how gentle you throw them. First 3 darts, not fantastic, but as you can see, they go in taters deep. And I'm not having a faster arm speed or anything. And that's what I say to people. Another great tip for you. When you've got that nice long throw that comes from the side of your face, you've got loads of power in your arm and not a lot of speed, because you've got, the further that arm goes to drive that dart out, the more power that you've got in it for the same amount of speed, rather than having to jig it out dead fast to gain your power for your darts. If you come to the side of your face, you'll have seen there, my arm speed is just the same as it is with any other dart, and they're still going at the 60. And these are 50 grams, these, with the thingy, with the flights and stems on them. Hey, Charlie, mate, you all right? I hope you're well, mate. I've not spoke to you for a long time. I'm going to have to get something sorted about that, mate. We've not had a chat for a while. What darts did you start with years ago when you played darts? When I was a kid, depends on how far back you want to go. If you want to go back to the mid-70s, which was when I properly started, so it's probably 73, 74, 75. There was a couple of sets of darts in the house. There was a set that were balsa wood with a lead insert, and you got them pretty cheap from the corner shop. They were pretty cheap, they were, and all they were like a balsa wood dart, lead insert, goose feathers on the back, and the point was heated up till it was red and pushed into the front of the balsa wood. So obviously you can imagine how long they lasted. We were lucky if we got a week out of them. And then what we did was we went on to those, you might have seen them, very similar to Love Darts, that program he did with those tiny darts and the big ones like these ones. When he did that, he saw the tiny darts and they had like a one-piece plastic stem and flight combination in yellow. Well, when you used to get a dart board, you'd get a set of yellow ones and a set of red ones. And I started throwing with, and I was throwing with them for a while. And then I went to a treat, well, I think it was my mum probably treated me for my birthday or something like that. And she took me down to the local sports shop, it was called in them days. It was a sports shop, and they had, it was probably 20 or 30 sets of darts, but it looked like millions when you're a little kid. It looked like millions of sets of darts. They were all brass, and they were all, I think they were about 75p, something like that, 50 or 75p they were for the brass ones. And then my mum, because I'd been a good lad for something or other, I don't know what it was, but I know she paid extra money. I think it was either £1 or £1.25, and she got me a set of John Lowe's. Obviously not packaged like they are today, but they were a set of what they were called John Lowe's. They were brass. Basically, they were black. They were painted black, and they had a black point on them. Again, it was paint because within a couple of weeks, all the tips were all silver like any other dart, and half of the black had gone off the brass. So they ended up as like a brass set of John Lowe's, and I used them probably for two years, something like that. But the way we used to destroy them, the actual points on them, which was the last video that I did about changing points, and I was talking about our kids' old darts from the 80s. Well, what we used to do, you see, was you didn't have any dart sharpeners or anything like that, mate. There was no dart sharpeners out like that on the go then. What you had to do was you had to use an old brick. We had an old brick in the back garden. Well, we didn't. What we did was we sneaked over because there was some posh houses on the other side from where we used to live. So what we did was we nipped over and we got one of the stones out the dry stone wall. And what we used to do was my dad used to say to us, "Oh, you need to put a bit of oil on it." So we used to get a bit of oil out of the chip pan. Not even oil, is it? It's fat. Oh, it's chip pan fat. And what we used to do, we would sit there for ages trying to sharpen the points on his dart. So obviously the points that started off at normal length ended up probably about half an inch long, if they were that, probably 2 centimetres or 1.5 centimetres, half the length they were when we bought them anyway. Right, so that's that little bit. Right, where are we, Charlie? Charlie, message was rejected. I don't understand what that's for, Charlie. That's unusual. What's that? I have no control over that, mate. It's just, I don't know if you've put anything dodgy in there. I don't know. But like I say, I don't have anybody moderating or anything like that, so I don't understand why that's happened. Unless, of course, you've deleted it. I don't know. Yeah, hope so, mate. Yeah, we are thingy. I mean, it's a daft thing to ask you guys out there, but does anybody know what's happened to Darts Wolf? Because I'm thinking Darts Wolf TV, it just seems to have like ground to a complete halt. I've not seen him put anything on for weeks. Does anybody know any more than I do? Right, so have another couple of chucks with these big fat things, like me. Dave Cummins, what is the best way to contact you for some online coaching? Dead simple, mate. If you remember this, right, it's dj.llewellyn, and it's spelt the same as this up here, Llewellyn. At the top, I'm pointing at my screen. No point in me doing that, is there? At the top of this screen here, you'll see some writing, and it says on there, Dynamite Dave Llewellyn. Right, so it's dj.llewellyn 123@outlook.com. Nice and easy one, that. It's only the Llewellyn bit, but that. Other thing you can do is any of my videos on YouTube, you'll see that it's got it in the description box, 99.9% of them. Type me in on Google, about the first 10, 15 results are all mine, and my email address is on there. So it's dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how little I do actually charge for coaching. And I do it each and every way. I do coaching online, which is face-to-face coaching. I do face-to-face personal coaching, which we can't do at the moment because of the lockdown. I do advise and reply. So basically you send me your videos and I have a look at them and I tell you where I think you're going wrong. Probably not, to be honest with you. It's the cheapest option, but it's not the best, if you know what I mean. The two ones that I recommend personally myself in these times, normally the best one is obviously face-to-face. Because if I'm in the same room as you, I can move you about and I can look at you, I can move around you, I can watch you from behind and I can watch you from the side. And I've got all the cameras set up in the studio to do that, and it works out really well because I can actually show you on a television screen where you're going wrong and what have you, so it gives you a better idea of how you can put it right, as well as me just telling you. The next best one to that, I think, is video coaching. For the simple reason is, first hitter, when you're first having coaching off me, the best thing you can do is like send me your videos. You get a personal coaching video off me. I'll do that for you. I send it back to you, and then you've got all the time in the world, right, to get your head round it, to get your head round the thing, the mechanical throw, and exactly what difference it will make to you. And I do the section 3 of that is the demonstration throws, and I do new demonstration throws for every one that I do. and it'll give you an idea of where you're going to get to. Because don't forget, everybody out there, I started out in exactly the same place as a lot of you lads. I was thinking I was throwing a 35-40 average on a good day, 45 on a good day. And I wasn't happy with it. And I just knew, because of being a mechanic and understanding about body mechanics and all that sort of stuff, because the mechanics in a body are not that much different than they are in a machine. And I just knew that there was a mechanical way that people could throw darts and it would make a difference. And it took me 2.5 years to develop the Dynamite Dave way. And that now has translated on to thousands of people now that are throwing in a Dynamite Dave way. It's not one or two like it was when the channel first started. It's not 200 or 300 like it was 2 years ago. It's now thousands and thousands of people across the world. And that just absolutely proves to me, because if you go back in my old videos, you'll see that in not a one of them I made any claims to anything. But I feel confident enough now to claim that my thing in my system works, and it works for anybody who's prepared to put the effort in. It really does work, and it's worked for so many people now. It's just absolutely amazing. The amount of mail that I get, emails, messages telling me that they've took up the Dynamite Dave way and the difference that it's made to them. And all I ever want to do is fetch all the pub players, all the normal, what I call back bedroom heroes, because that's exactly what I was. All I want to do is fetch all those people up. Hey Matt, you all right, mate? I hope you're well over there in the States. I hope you're well, mate, and I'm looking forward to coming back on your show soon. But yeah, that's all. That's just it. Simple as that, really. Right, brilliant. So, as I said, let's have a chuck with these, and then I'll have another waffle, eh? Oh, 81. 81. Now look at the grouping on them. Ooh. These are like half bricks with points in the end of them. You know something, Isaac? That means more to me than anything. That means the world to me when I've had that sort of influence on somebody, and I've changed the game to the extent that I have yours and so many other people's now. it gives you that confidence to know what you're doing is right. In the first place, I wasn't confident enough to turn around and say what I'm saying is right, and I know it's right. Whereas now, I actually believe in the Dynamite Dave way that much that I know I don't even think anymore. I know that it does, and I know that there's that many people out there. But it just takes for the channel to build up and build up, and people that you're coaching to build up and build up, to have that sort of faith in it. And that now is just, you know what I mean? I absolutely love it. Oh, that wasn't a good one. Oh dear. It's going. Yeah. Oh, and I didn't even knock it out. I tried to knock it out and it didn't go. What's this? I'll get it up back of my head now. Hey, that last one there, I actually tried to knock it out, knock the second one out the board with it. Oh dear, that wasn't very good. Oh, these are a hell of a thing to handle, these darts. Like I say, they're like half bricks. Hi Dave, question. Great stuff. What dartboard is better, Unicorn HD2 or the Windmill Blade 5? There's no contest, mate. It's the Blade 5. No contest at all. The Unicorn is another one of those companies that's tied in with the PDC, and I think what they've done is they've just rested on those laurels. You know, like a lot of companies do. Like, I don't think it matters whether it's Formula One or whether it's Nike or whoever it is. They start off to get a reputation where they're really, really good stuff and they're really, really good products and what have you. And we've had this conversation right at the start of this and before this on one of my videos, which is the latest one about changing points, about the big companies letting us down, basically, because the people who actually play darts and rely on their products to be good quality, because let's face it, they're not cheap. A lot of these things are not cheap, and we're buying them, we're paying good money for them. One of my biggest banes is the thing of the Nexus board from Target, where they're charging you. I mean, I know somebody's going to come on now and say you can get them for 250 quid or 260 quid. They were 300 nicker when they first came out, and they were built like a toy. And their justification for it was that they had a tablet in them. What, a tablet that you couldn't go on the internet and browse on Amazon on? It's just the actual board itself and the thing of the software and everything that came with it just didn't justify the cost at all. So I think what it is we've got to learn to shop a bit more wisely and maybe take into account some of the smaller companies like Loxley Darts make some fantastic darts. Their darts are as good as as Target darts or anybody else's. Yet the Finger, they're a lot more, to me, they seem a lot more approachable and everything anyway. I mean, Darts Corner and that, I've never even had an email back off them. Perfect Darts, same thing. Sent them 2 or 3 emails, probably more than that, 4 or 5 emails. Oh, you don't get anything, to be honest with you. You don't even get a reply. So, and then again, you go to the other places like A180 Darts, BVD Darts, me and Brian. We've had an association with each other now for about 2.5 years, and we just get on like an old married couple. You know, he sends me stuff, I send him the money, and it's great. He does me a really nice discount on stuff, and I promote all his gear. So you know what I mean? It works really well. Whereas the big guys, and the thing is, this is a video that I'm going to do, hopefully, in a pretty short order, to be honest with you. How the big boys like the PDC and what have you, I believe that they're missing a trick, not supporting the YouTube channels. And I think what will happen to them if they're not careful is they'll end up in the same sort of situation as the BBC is now, like BBC News and what have you. You've got people like We've Got a Problem, The Voice of Reason and stuff like that. These little channels, we say little channels, it's a bloke in his finger in his kitchen with a laptop, and he's doubling the amount of views every day that the BBC have in watchers on the mainstream TV. And there's a reason for that, and it's because they've forgotten who they're talking to. The government are exactly the same. They've forgotten who they're talking to. They forgot about the people who actually keep this country going, and they're just talking to the champagne socialists, which is, it's just not going to end well for them. Simple as that. And it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter whether it's the PDC, and that's not to do with socialists or left or out or right or out like that. It's just the fact that they're actually missing a trick and not getting to the target audience of people that are, and that's the reason why you've got like Matt Edgar, who's doing the PDC Q School stuff now. He's doing fantastic videos every night, but you're not getting that from, they're not the actual main people like the PDC per se are not actually putting that content out there. They've not got people who are actually doing that and presenting that content what people want. And that's what we're doing. We're giving people darts content, hopefully, that they enjoy and they like. Hang on a minute, is that actually scrolling down? Oh, it is. Yeah, of course I can, mate. Yeah, of course. See if I can get in from this side. Right. I don't know whether you can see that. That is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an exploded view of it. Right. So your hand normally is like that, right? So you've got your hand in a fan. That's it from the front. Yeah. So as you can see, the dart comes across the center of my finger. Now, if you look at me, because I'm not an oddball, but what I do is I actually rest the dart under my nail on my front finger. Turn it over a little bit for you to see from the top. There we go. It's a bit difficult to keep this in focus, but I'll do my best. As you can see, that actually sits under my nail. And then it's literally just one finger on the top and your thumb on the side. That's it. These fingers here, right, strengthen the actual grip, so they're strengthening my hand to here. As my hand comes back, they'll open away. You'll watch my fingers, not that dramatically, I'm overemphasizing it for you, but as my hand comes back for me to throw, these come away, so I'm just holding it with the 3 fingers. But those 2 fingers that strengthen the grip are part of it from when you're taking it from your serving hand. So as it comes out, those are actually supporting the hand as you take it out, and it makes sure that your thingy, that dart goes into your hand the same every time. If you pull the dart out and you come up, never fiddle with your darts to get them in the right place to throw them. Don't ever do that. Put the dart back in your hand. If it's your first dart out, it goes to the back of the 3 darts. If it's your second dart out, it goes to the back of the second dart. So you throw it to the back of your hand, and like a revolver, the other one comes forward, and you just pick it out in the right spot, and it's in your hand. That's one of the big things that I coach a lot of people about, and one of the ones that struggles with it a lot. How many times do you see Gerwyn Price throwing the darts on the floor? Loads and loads of times. Just go back and watch either the Masters or the Worlds or anything before that. The Finger the World Cup, far back as that. Just go and watch a couple of his games and just you watch how many darts he drops, because he's got a poor serving hand. And that, when you drop a dart, it takes your concentration. So whether you leave it on the floor or you go and pick it up straight away is irrelevant. If you drop a dart on the floor, it disturbs your concentration. Neil Nagowski, top man, the only other man in the world who's got one of these shirts. Hey! Right, let's have a read and see what it says. Forgive me if this already. Is the pinky out of a conscious decision? Do you mean the small finger that sticks out? Well, it's like a fan. If you're talking about the thing, the pinky that sticks out, it is, because what it is as your hand comes forward, right, what you're looking for is for it to open smoothly, like this. If you've got your fingers in a funny place, opening your fingers becomes less natural. Where the actual finger position came from was I developed that, believe it or not, with a tennis ball. And what I did was I held a tennis ball and I held it in different positions and I threw it. And what I did was I filmed it and slowed it right down. And I saw that if I was putting a finger underneath it to try and throw the ball forward, it drove the ball up in the air. And it does exactly the same with your points. You'll see loads and loads of people and they'll throw the dart with the finger, like, let's have a see if we can get it, like that underneath the point. But if I hold the dart at the back, as you open your hand, as you can see, as your hand springs open like that, you're pushing the dart point up in the air. So you're causing the dart to do that in its flight trajectory. As you push it out, you're pushing the front of the dart up, which forces the back of the dart down. This on here is an aeroplane wing, and that's what that does is, as it's going through the air forward, it tries to equalize the dart out until it goes level. So if you fired a dart at a 45-degree angle over, let's say, 100 meters, by the time it reached 45 or 50 meters, it'd be absolutely solid, rock solid, straight like that, and just flying in an arc and just peaking off as the weight took over. So basically the weight takes over the velocity and the thing in the speed of the actual dart, and then it'll start dropping to the floor. But halfway through that flight, it'll be absolutely rock solid, going straight. Maybe a little bit of a wiggle here and there in it because of air turbulence. But if you did it in a still air environment, that's exactly what would happen if you fired it out. So if you put your finger on the top of it, as your hand spreads out, you're driving the point up in the air. If you put your finger on top of the point, as your hand comes over, your finger being on top of the point forces you to release the dart late, because it's coming over and you need to release it to let that dart try and get it to go straight. And this is where you get all these people who are throwing the dart up in the air, or they're pulling across it. What they're trying to do is, you're throwing poorly and your brain is trying to compensate for that. And that's exactly what I was doing. It's only what I was doing in the first place all those years ago. I was throwing very poorly, because what I was doing is I had like a combination between, our kid used to love Eric Bristow, so our Roy used to try and do the Eric Bristow throw, and I'll do that for you in a minute. I'll do an Eric Bristow throw for you. Because I used to try and throw like that. And I also used to try and throw like John Lowe, because those were the two dart players that I really loved when I was a kid. And at the end of the day, though, I ain't Eric Bristow and I ain't John Lowe. So those dart players have perfected that throw themselves, exactly the same as Jockey Wilson and Dave Chisnell. You've seen the way that he gyrates and everything, both of them. Jockey gyrating as he lets go of the dart. Dave Chisnell gyrating, and it works, but only on a very temporary basis. I think Jockey Wilson, you have to forgive me, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat because I've got no drink up here. That's not good on a Friday night, is it? Not having a drink. But but yeah, Jockey Wilson got away with it for a lot longer because of he was a star in the 60s, well, late 60s, 70s, 80s, possibly just touching the 90s. But because he was part of his era, the other dart players weren't up at the sort of level that they are now. Because I don't think even Phil Taylor, I think he'd be all right in today's settings, but I don't think he'd do as well as he did when he was 16 times world champion. I don't think that's possible anymore. And the living proof of that is Michael van Gerwen. Look how devastating he was 4 years ago. Not anymore, because nobody's frightened of him, and nearly everybody can play at the same sort of level as him. All right, sometimes, but again, every now and again he can step it up and play really well. But judging by the way he did against Dave Chisnell in the Worlds, it's not consistent, is it? Right, where are we? Steve, I've started throwing dart. Old Daryl Fittons. Yeah, they are, mate. That's because going back to when was it before the channel started? I think it was. Yeah, it was before the channel started. It might have been 12 months before the channel started. And I was in IKEA in Ashton. And if Daryl's watching this, he might even remember. We were in IKEA in Ashton under Lyne. And me and the missus were walking round, and I just give her a jab in ribs. I said, Daryl Fittons over there. So wet and thinking, just as I was passing, I said, Daryl, you all right, mate? Like you do. Not gushing her out like that, like some people do. I just said, hiya, Daryl, mate, you all right? So we just started a bit of a conversation, and he gave me a set of darts. He gave me a set of, I don't know whether they were his. I think what he did was he had promo stuff with him, and he just pulled a packet of darts out of his pocket. So whether they were his or not, I don't know. But he gave me them, and I actually developed the Dynamite Dave grip with those darts. I used the ball for the release, and I used those darts to develop the grip, because I feel that they're the most natural. And you've got a few little entities of them. They're quite a straight barrel then. But these are ones that I had when I first started the channel. So the Daryl Fitton ones I gave to my son. And these are the Target Carreras. And as you can see with those, that way, as you can see with those, they are like a very stretched out version, not a very stretched out, but a stretched out version of the Daryl Fitton dart. So they're thin at one end, a little bit fatter in the middle, and thin at the other end. A little bit like a is it Doppelodon or whatever they call them things that walk about and they're like them dinosaurs anyway. Right, so we found these, and these are the ones that came on from the Daryl Fitton ones. That's why I chose these. Right, grip is good, but too long for the Daryl Fittons. Grip is good, but too long for me. Yeah. Well, everybody's different. It all depends on what type of shafts you like and what type of darts. Barrel length, again, is another thing that's just personal. And you know something? I love these. They're just like a pair of old slippers. I mean, they're a bit heavier than the others. They're 26 grams these, but they're just like a pair of old slippers, like me best mate. I think these are probably one of the only things that you couldn't buy off me, no matter how much money he had. Oh, come on. 81. And as you can see, these have just been put up. I think I've used these. That's why they've got like different flights and stems on them. I've used these 3 times, I think, when I've done those multi-dart things where I throw 3 different darts. Oh dear. Oh, come on. think that second one I forgot to throw it. $100. Just. So those are the ones that I developed the grip with. They're the Target Carrera C3s. Absolutely. Like I say, my old best mates, them are. And I tell you what, shall I show you the worst set of darts I've ever had? This should give you a giggle. These are the ubiquitous, the best darts in the world, not Q-Sol. They're about the size, they're the same size. Look at this, they're the same size as these 50 grammers. Look, barrel length and everything's virtually identical. These are 21 grams. They're absolutely awful. And because there's no weight in them, the flight has a big effect on them, and they just do not go where you want them to. So even I struggle with these, so let's have a chuck with these. Oh dear. Look at that. Oh well. Yeah, grouping's not dead bad. These are just the worst set of darts I've ever chucked in my life. These. I can chuck them, but no matter what. No, I went for a double top there. No matter what flights and stem combinations I put in them, basically they just don't work. Have you ever tried Simon? Oh yeah. I'll tell you the story about the old Simon Whitlock darts. You like this one? You all know Peter Manley, don't you? Well, I was at the UK Open last year, last March, just before they shut it all down, and the girls were there and they were doing a. I remember you telling me this during a session. Difficult to throw with the moving king style ones. Yeah, well, this is just a little bit of a tail list because there's different Simon Whitlock darts. The purpley ones that they came out, I think the windmill ones, and they've not got as extreme a dip in the middle of them. Now I took those to the UK Open with me, and they were doing this 9 dart thing. So you got 9 darts at the board, and it was just as you walked in. If any of you lads were at the UK Open, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And it'd be really nice if one of you were there and actually saw this, because a lot of people did. Quite a lot of people did. Anyway, they were doing this, and they were doing them with Michael Smith darts. But I think they were either brass or they were cheap ones. They were horrible. I had a go with them, and I did. I think it was 279, something like that. 279 I did with them. And Peter Manley was there, and I was talking to him. He recognised me. We were talking for a couple of minutes, and anyway, I went off and what have you, had a few beers. And the following day, I came back at the beginning of the session, the dinner time session. And what I was doing at the time was I was meeting people in the sports bar to go and do a bit of free coaching, because that's what I do when I go to UK Open. I do a full weekend of free coaching for people. I get plenty of beer bought for me and stuff like that. But basically, I go on and do a bit of coaching and all that, have a good laugh and a joke, and we have a real good time. And anyway, I went back in the following for the following afternoon session, and the girls were setting up, and Peter was there just having a mull about. And I said to him, I said, Pete, I said, can you ask the girls? I said, let them see if I can, what do we call it, if I can have a throw with my own darts. So anyway, he had a word with them, and they said, yeah, but it won't count, because a couple of people had a go by this time, because we were chatting for a bit, and a couple of people had a go on it. And I said to him, I said, I'll have a go. And I said to the girls, is it all right if I have like a couple of 3 throws first, just to get myself warmed up a little bit? So they said, yeah, all right then. So I had my 9 arrows warm up, and I went 180, 180, 140, but on the wire for 500. It was one of them things, you know, everybody was like cheering and clapping and what have you. It was just one of them one of those fantastic little anecdotes, or whatever you call them. Anecdotes, I think it is. Anecdotes, I don't know. Anyway, right, Callum Reston. Yes, I have that, and that was with the Simon Whitlock darts, but they were the purple ones that haven't got the series before that had quite a distinct like dip in them. The Mervyn King ones, terrible. Can't throw them to save my life because the dart itself dictates where your fingers actually fit into them. Something that we've spoke about before on like where I say you get a grip, and if the rings are really close together, it feels like your fingers are sitting on top of the darts. Well, the Mervyn Kings are sort of like the other extreme of that, because you've got like dips that go along the dart like that, and your fingers have to fit into them a certain way. And the way that I grip, they go over the top of them, and I don't have hardly any control over them at all. But the Simon Whitlock ones, some of the ones I can throw them, and some of them I can't. Into the scallop section of them. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's thingy. That's like I say, that's personal. And if you've got the purple ones that I'm talking about, the actual dip in them isn't as like extreme as it is in some of the earlier models. I remember you telling me during a session you always found it difficult to throw with the Mervyn King style darts. Yeah, which I just covered in that. Yeah, yeah, I did. And like I say, that's the reason. Is you get a ring grip. Like here's something with a ring grip on it. You get a dart with a ring grip that's like that. So you've got like even spaces like that. Well, the Mervyn King ones, as you know, are like that all the way down the barrel, but the actual gaps in them are massive. So your fingers are then dictated by the barrel where your fingers can sit on them. And if your fingers don't sit on them in that way, you can't throw them. I mean, I can throw them. Don't get me wrong. I can throw them and I can get them in the board all right. But I just don't like throwing them. They just don't feel right. Mike Dowell just tuned in. What is your opinion on spinner stems? I seldom see the top pros using them. Yeah, and I think that's probably because some of the top pros, I'm not sure about Fallon Sharrock. She might use them, Not 100% sure. But don't forget the L-style ones. They call them silent, smooth and silent or something like that. Which the sets that I bought 3 sets, I think it was. And I couldn't make one set out of the 3 that didn't rattle about. And I can't stand the feeling of darts being loose. Like, when your stem goes loose and you pull a dart out with your serving hand and you can feel it rattling as your arm's coming across. I can't stand that, and it puts me off. So for the new lad, Mike, who's chipped in, if you want spinners, these are what you want, mate. I've been using these for 4 years, going on 5 years now, and I won't use anything else. And as you can see, they don't spin freely, but as the dart comes in, they just beautifully, look at that, they just beautifully move out of the way as your dart comes in. And those flights on there, couple of months old, maybe 6 weeks, something like a month, 6 weeks, maybe 2 months old. And as you can see, there's nothing wrong with them. They're not chewed or anything. The stems just last forever. The only time I ever have to change these stems is when I want to change the colour of the flights. And I've done this on purpose, the 2 blacks and a white, because I like the idea of when I'm practicing, I'll throw the black in first, and I'll throw the 2 white darts at the flight, which is another one of my big tips. There we go, nice grouping on those 2 whites. But yeah, these, I absolutely love these. The only thing that's a bit, shouldn't be gabbing, should I? There we go, 121. Yeah, so like I say, these are my favourite. I've had these for years. The only thing is, and I believe that Johnny Cree, Lone Wolf 180, if you want any custom dart flights, seek him out. He's on Facebook and everywhere, and he does, in between him and Helios darts, they print the L style ones at the moment, and they're thinking about printing these up. If they start printing these up, I'm definitely having these off them. Definitely, be buying myself a good few of these. Right, so where are we? Hi, Dave. Which ones? Hang on a minute. Have I missed something here, Dave? Grip is good. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. I've linked it in now. Brain's work now. So you're asking him which Simon Whitlock ones he's got. Because, yeah, there is this. If you remember, they did like a brass coloured one. It weren't brass and it weren't really gold, but it had a really. Hey, Ryan, you all right, mate? It had a really pronounced dip in the barrel. I'll get some anyway. I'll get some thingies, some Simon Whitlock ones, and I'll chuck them for you. It's up from Kentucky. Hiya, birdie boy. Birdie boy. You all right, mate? Great to see you all in from all over the world. Fantastic, this. But we're doing what we did last thingy, didn't we, last week? I hope you're enjoying it. I hope I mean, I'm thinking that the viewers are staying around about 35, 37, which is fantastic. That's great, that. And well, what do we call it? Like I did last week on Sunday. I set off to do an hour, ended up doing an hour and 45 minutes, I think it was, and I think we've done the same tonight, haven't we? I'm gonna have to go before the wife decides to decapitate me or something. We got on air, I think, about 7:15, didn't we? It was about 7:15, and it's 8:30 now, so I've done an hour and 15 minutes. What do you think of the Nathan Aspinall darts? Thinking of getting a set? You know something? I really, really hoped that somebody was going to send me a set of them. I really did, because and Nathan, if you're out there, mate, and I know you watch, I know you watch some of my stuff because you've recommended me to a load of the disabled lads in Stockport, right? So I know you watch me stuff. If you have a watch of this, send me a set of your darts, will you, mate? I'd love to have a chuck of them because they're a bit of a different shape and what have you, and the way that the grip and everything is on them, and I'd love to have a go at them. So if you're watching, Nathan, please send us a set of your darts, mate. I'd love to have a go at them. Um, Not really sure, mate. Not really sure. I'll have a look when we've finished here. What was it about coaching? Was you after some coaching or something? Because I get literally, Ryan, I get anything up to 100 messages a day. Sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's 50. Getting towards the weekend like today, I think I've had about 70, 75 messages today. So it takes some keeping up with, I'll tell you, especially when you've got a full-time job as well. So I'll have a look. I'll have a look on Messenger when I get off here. Getting ready for Tony in a few hours. Nice one, birdie boy. How are you doing in your tourneys? I know thingy Neil Magowski's he has a bit of a rocky road with it. Sometimes he goes and he's devastating, and other times he's overthinking it a bit. I think he's letting it get to him where he's just needs to change his mindset a little bit. And a lot of the dart players suffer with that. They do, including I have in the past. I don't now, to be honest with you, because I'm one. It sounds dead horrible and dead arrogant, but it isn't. It really isn't. I don't really care whether I win or lose because it's one of them. I don't need it. I don't need the money. I don't want to be a millionaire. All I want to do is I just want to coach you lads. Have a good laugh and a joke with you. I mean, people tell you who've been up here. I think if Ovenstar's still on here, he's been here and had a coaching session with me, and I'm just exactly in real life like I am on here. This is me. This is what you get. We just laugh. We laugh and joke, and obviously there's some really serious coaching in there because you've got to change a lot of the time. People have got to change a lot of parts that are wrong in the throw and what have you. But we get it sorted over the hour or the 2 hours, depending on how long you come for. But we also have a really good time as well. I saw something about. Nice one, birdie boy. So you won last week. Good lad. New Heta darts. Ah, sick. Oh, right. You know something? Matt did a review on them, didn't he? I saw it earlier this morning, and I was really impressed with them. So what I might do is I might get myself a set of them. See, the problem is though is I get darts and I sort of like, well, what I'll do is I just turn them over and put them, give them out as the thing of the end of month free prize draw. So anything like that that comes in, they will go into the donators free prize giveaway or free giveaway, whichever way you want to call it, at the end of the month. Just a little bit of a reminder, it'll be drawn on the 25th of the month, this month, as usual, but it'll be changing to a different format over the next possibly 2 months, 2 maybe 3 months. It'll change to a new format, and the new format it'll be get drawn out on the Sunday night program, the last Sunday in the month, and I'll make a bit of a fuss of the people who think you win. Right, Derek Edwards. Hi, Dave. Hi, Derek, mate. You all right? Right, the best thing I can recommend you do, Derek, is, and it sounds like a shameless plug this, and I suppose you could say it is if you want, but it's not, I promise you. Send me an email to dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com. That's dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com. And thingy, have a coaching video off me, and I'll show you how to change so eye dominance will not be a problem in the future. And like I've said earlier on in the stream, there's thousands of people now throwing in the way that I've adjusted them to, and it gets rid of all those problems. Eye dominance won't be a problem anymore. If you throw like me, in the Dynamite Dave style, you won't think eye dominance will not be a problem anymore. It's very frustrating, it is, mate. I know it is. But the thing is you get a lot of people, like I'm left-handed, will come here for a coaching session, or they'll have a video coaching session. There's 3 lads that I sent videos off to earlier on today over in America. I think 2 of them in America and 1 in Canada. And they started off throwing like this. What they're doing is they're chucking like this and then saying, yeah, that they're right eye dominant, basically. Or if they're throwing right-handed, if you'll take a picture of yourself from the front and you're throwing like this, right, and you're saying that you're left eye dominant, you'll probably find 99.9% of the time it's not an eye dominance, it's the fact that you're putting the dart in front of your eye. And how can you throw from being blind? The thing is, you see, is if you throw in the Dynamite Dave way, you come into the side of your face here, so both your eyes can see the board. But it's exactly the same as doing this, but you're actually coming to the side so you've got a full vision of the board. Your actual dart is still coming, so it's being aimed by your eye across here. As you can see the point of the dart, when it comes back with me, it comes level with my eye. So I'm still, in a way, aiming the dart, but it means that I've got full vision of the board when I actually throw the darts. And that is one of the things that makes a massive difference to your accuracy and your consistency, as well as obviously the other mechanical parts of the throw. Yeah, the current ones, they've got much less of a dip in them than the old ones. Hi, Yankee Clipper. Not seen you about for a while. I bet you were on the last one and I missed you. Because, yes, regular to the channel and what have you. Is Yankee Clipper. Right, Birdie Boy, what have you said down on? I want the World Champ editions. Need a lot lighter weight, though. I did have some Gerwin prices. I think they went in the last raffle. The last donators giveaway. But what we got this month in the donators free giveaway, we've got these ones to start off with. So we've got the MVG Actives, they'll be going. We've got Kim Ibrix, his darts from Bulls. We've got the Comeback Kid, well, sort of, at the moment. We don't know whether he's going to come back or not, do we? Don't know whether he's even going to get through Q School, but we've got those. They're the 80%. We've got the top of the range Chizzies. They'll be in the donators free prize giveaway this month. We've got Darlow Gurney-O. So we've got Darryl Gurneys. They're the thing of the, what do you call it? It's the green ones for Ireland. I don't know whether they might have been the World Cup ones. I'm not sure though. And we've got the Pièce de Resistance. And apparently these are really, really hard to get hold of. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but it's what I was told. And that's the Dirk van Dijvenbode darts. We've got all them in this month's end of month free prize giveaway. Also, we've got chalkies. You know, some of the chalky scorers. We've got some of them as well. So I want a couple of dartboards. We've got the Winmau. Sorry, not. Yeah, I have actually. I've got a Winmau Blade 5. So I was right. And I've also got a Mission Samurai 2 dartboard as well. and I'm doing a long-term test on this thing, this Mission Samurai board at the moment. And I think I've had it up now for at least a couple of weeks, maybe 3. Not turned it yet. And as you can see, if you look on your screen there, nothing wrong with that 60 bed. There's a couple of tiny bits of sisal that are showing here, but they literally are like whiskers on your chin, next to nothing. So yeah, up to now, I'm really impressed with this Samurai board. And believe it or not, they're only 30 quid. I couldn't believe it, mate. That's all they are, 30 quid. I mean, you get these shop ones and what have you, they're 60, 70, 80 knicker, aren't they? So for a cheap dartboard, I think they're fantastic. Jason, his back down. Hi Dave, average 75 to 80 consistently. Any advice on how to keep going higher? Seems that I'm stuck. From Buffalo. Right, hi Jason. Well, it's one of them. It's you get into, if you're on 75, 80 consistently, you're looking at not quite Peter Wright type things, because you're looking for, at first you're looking for 100% improvement, then 50%, then 25, then 5 or 6, then 2 or 3, then 1, and half a 1 when you get up to like the upper echelons of things. But it's all about your attitude to practice and making your throw as repeatable as possible. If you can get your throw to the point where it's ultimately repeatable and it's ultimately reliable. The big thing is, and the one that I tend to refer back to a lot, is a thing of the Phil Taylor. And like he said, the more consistent you are, the better you're going to be. But what you must have is your A game's your A game. So if your A game is 75 to 80, you've got to have a B game that is 65 to 70. So it's just one notch behind your A game. And normally when you fetch that B game up, your A game takes a step on. So it's a bit like them stairs. Once your B game comes up, your A game will take a bit of a step forward. But it's all about those anomalies in your throw, tightening them down further and further to make them less and less and less. So that's how you progress on from your 75, 80s. I mean, if you were here being coached with me, obviously I've got some tricks and what have you to actually pull that focus down. But unfortunately, like without actually being coaching you, so to speak, it's very, very difficult, because I've not seen you throw, so I don't know what where the actual anomalies lie in your throw that I can improve for you. Right, Derek Edwards. Cheers, we'll do that. Thanks. How do we go about getting? There isn't one. We don't have a one of them anymore. We're not allowed to even mention it. This has caused a lot of trouble for me, a hell of a lot of trouble. We're still doing something, but it's no longer what it used to be called. It is now the donators free prize giveaway. So everybody who donates to the channel, in whichever way they donate, and there's loads of different ways you can do it now. As you can see in the bottom corner there, you've got Skrill. So if you're over in America, which you are, Skrill is over there for you. I believe is something very, very similar to PAL. And I've got loads of people who are putting supporting the channel through that means. The other one is, if you look right at the top of your screen, you will see one for Streamlabs. So if you copy and paste that into your browser, it'll take you to my tip page on Streamlabs. Again, there, exactly the same thing. You can donate there. Super chat in there. Thanks very much. Who's that come from? Nick Cole. Nick Cole, thanks very much, mate. That means that you're in the free prize draw at the end of the month. It's being drawn on the 25th this month and probably next month, and then we're going to change the format of it. But there'll be loads of videos, loads of live chats and what have you before then, so you'll all be kept fully abreast of that. But back to the question, yeah, anybody who donates, it doesn't matter how you donate or how you get it to me. If you don't like doing that and you want to donate direct to me, if you get in touch with me again at dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com, I'll give you some bank details where you can actually pay direct transfer into the bank. But obviously, those are the sort of things that I don't really want to put out on air. Right. Nick Cole. Woohoo! I bought a blade. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's why I've had them for years and years and years. The mission one was literally, I picked it up off A180. He gave me a couple of them, paid him trade price for them, but it was something that I wanted to do because I saw that a couple of the other YouTubers had done reviews on them, and I think there was only one who said they were going to do a long-term test on it. So what I'm doing is, rather than doing a long-term test in the background and sitting there stabbing darts into it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it on my actual channel, and then you'll be able to see I'm going to use it for 3 months. Obviously, at the end, I'm going to do a bit of a summing up of like what I think of it, but week by week by week, day by day, you'll be able to see how it's faring up. And I'm not going to turn it. I'm going to keep it the way that it is for 3 months and see how that thing, that treble 20, stands up for 3 months. And I think we're about 3.5, maybe 4 weeks in now. So yeah, but the Blade 5, mate, you'll have no problem with that. And if you've bought a dual core, it'll just last you, I won't say forever, but it'll last a long time. If you keep turning it, because that's what I give to the pubs. Another thing that Dynamite Dave does a lot of is all the local pubs round me. I put dartboards in the pubs. I put darts behind the bar. I put hockeys down for them. I've given halo lights. I've done all sorts for the darts community in my local area. And tell you what, some of the landlords are a bit gobsmacked when I come in and say, "You got a dartboard?" "Yeah, but it's a right piece." And I say, "Aye, I've got a brand new one here for you." And that's what I do, is I just go in and put my dartboard up, put them some really nice sets of darts behind the bar for people to have a chuck with, and that's the way we do it. But yeah, the Blade 5s, the dual cores, really good sustainability, very, very good sustainability in a pub environment. I've had some of them that have lasted a year in a pub, and a year in a pub is a long, long time for a dartboard. Brilliant, they are, really good, I do have to say. Right, let's see if we can zip through these before we wrap it up. Have you tried the Nitro Tech systems from Red Dragon? Nitro Tech systems? No, I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't. See, a lot of people ask me, have I tried this, that and the other, but as I explained much earlier on, probably an hour and a half ago in the stream, if I did that, I could spend hundreds of pounds every week, which I haven't got to buy all these sort of things. But a great way of doing it, if you want to contribute to the channel, is if you buy a Nitro system, just send me an email and what have you. I'll send you my address, you send it, and I will do a review of them and mention you in it, give you a nice big up and a nice thing, a nice mention and what have you. So any of you that you want to do that out there for me, you want to get a thing, a set of Nitro stems, doesn't matter if it's just a set of stems, 3 stems, I'll do a little bit of a review on them and what have you, and I'll let everybody know what they're like. So yeah, I'll do that for you, no problem. Yankee Clipper. Hi, Aiden. You alright, Aiden Green? You alright, lad? Big up to you, fella. Birdie Yankee Clipper. See you later, Yankee Clipper. See you later, mate. Take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you soon. Paul McGuff. Hi, Paul. You alright, lad? Bit late to the party. Hey, you're not kidding, mate. I'm just about to go. Otherwise, I'll still be here on Sunday, won't I? I'll still be here on Sunday. And I'm still sustaining in between 37 and 40 viewers, so we're not doing too bad. Right, Dan, fair play to you, man. Yep. Hi, Danny, all right, lad? Cheers, Dave. I'll be sending. Maybe getting some. Yeah, mate. Believe me, it'll transform your game. I've done it for thousands of players now, not one or two, not 1 or 200. It's getting to a point now where I'm actually surprised that I haven't been approached by people. I mean, I've got pro players that I think, but I mean, people like the PDC or the BDO or the big ones. I'm surprised that nobody's been in touch from there. But like I said earlier on in the video, unfortunately, the big boys tend to ignore the ones that they think are below them or beneath them, and it's a bit of a shame, really. But there you go. Can someone put Dave's email address? I think. in the comments. Yeah, it's dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com. Let me see if I can put a message on it. No, it won't let me put a message on for some reason. I'm not really fantastic and au fait with these things yet. I'm not the best with them, so I might be able to do it this way. Let's have a see. DJ. Oh. There you go. She's on. I've just put it on for you there, mate. You should be able to copy that as a link if you're on a tablet or your phone or maybe even your laptop. You should be able to copy that. That's my email address there, dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com. Nice and easy. And I'll send you all the details. Hi, Jack Thomas. You all right, lad? Unfortunately, you've just come in as we're ending the stream. I'm going to have to end the stream in a couple of minutes because it's film time. It's time to sit down with the missus and watch a nice film, have a nice pint of beer, and we'll see you again on Sunday. Right? So take care of yourself, everybody. I've loved every minute of it. Thanks everybody who's done a super chat. Everybody who's done a super chat makes a massive difference to me. And like I say, every one of you stand a good chance in the end of month contributors free prize giveaway. So everybody who donates, doesn't matter whether it's now or during the downtime, so I don't have to be on the air or anything like that. If you donate, doesn't matter what time of the month or whenever it is, you will go into that draw, and it'll be, let's just say, your contributions, your donations will be reflected in exactly the same way as they always have been, and that's the best way I can put it for you. No problem. Take it. Wow, it's Mr. Whippito. It's my best mate there. Hi, fella, you all right? You're a bit late to the old party, just as I'm starting to wind it down. Right, if you're watching me call it, if you're going to come back in, I'll be on live again. This guy at the bottom here, I'm not going to tell you who he is because I have to keep it stum, but he's been with me right from the beginning of the channel. He probably came in 2 or 3 maybe months after I started the channel, and he's been with me ever since, and he's supported me to a level that is just, I'm so humbled by it. He's a fantastic bloke, really good bloke, fantastic fella. Laugh out loud. No, you are, mate. You're an absolute star. It's been brilliant, really has. Right, so I'm going to have to wind it up now. Really sorry I have to go now, but I don't want to, but I've got to. Right, so take care of yourselves, lads and lasses. Don't forget, you'll only ever get out of this game what you're prepared to put in. And always, talk to the hockey. Talk to the hockey, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Love yous all to bits, and I'll see yous on Sunday.